you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
That they're going to do a remake of Knights of the Old Republic. Now, this makes sense to me because if you recall, not too long ago or a couple years ago, time flies when you're memeing, am I right? There was going to be a fan-made Unreal Engine 4 version of Knights of the Old Republic, which now we know would have been a true remake of the game rather than this. This pops off. I immediately get happy. I guess this is what hype feels like. I'm like, thank God. Knights of the Old Republic making a comeback. It might just be decent. You know, I don't know. You know how it is, Hope? You know how Hope is. Hope tricks you into believing things aren't garbage, when in all actuality, they are. Why are we fooling ourselves? Within hours of this dropping, all of my euphoria was dashed by that Star Wars girl. She was the first person to tell me Sam Maggs was writing on it.
Hey, who turned off the gas?
Oh, Pigeon, just take a damn antidepressant like the rest of us.
Yeah, well, if any of you were really my friends, you'd let me die in peace.
Pigeon. KOTOR is getting a remake.
Yeah.
Knights of the Old Republic.
I love
Knights of the Old Republic.
He's a reason not to kill yourself.
Isn't Sam Maggs writing that?
What? I'm going back in the oven.
It's a frightening and disgusting trend in the world of online gaming. Hackers rewriting code to simulate sexual assault. Shauna Hunt is live with the disturbing reality of virtual. Shauna.
Well, Roger, in the world of gaming, modifying characters is actually a common thing, but these cases are extreme. These hackers, they're taking control of games being played online, and they're staging these violent attacks. And the scenes are so disturbing, we had to blur the images.
Online, they can take your character, lock them in place, have made their character pantsless, and then can simulate sexual assault with your character, and you are helpless to stop it.
What? Oh no!
The graphics are so good, this attack is eerily realistic, but this is virtual hackers rewriting codes and hijacking online video games like Zombie Apocalypse and Grand Theft Auto. The vile scenes are then posted to YouTube.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
That's deplorable and should not be allowed anywhere. Like, they should be banned off the servers immediately.
And Sam Maggs, an avid gamer and blogger, tells me in some cases these hackers, also known as modders for modifying the game, will talk to victims on their headsets during the attacks.
When you can hear the person on the other end who's saying these things directly to you and they're saying them directly to you, that's a whole other level of harassment, really.
Booty, having some booty was more important than drinking water.
Unleash Super Soyan 3! Greg Miller!
The gaming community needs to be better about building the community it's in.
Yes.
And I can't agree with that enough. If you know anything about Greg Miller and Kinda Funny, being better is a big part of what we always talk about. Is be better to each other and don't be a jerk. And I know right now, on our very own Twitch page right here, a bunch of people are being jerks. And everybody who's a good person, which is the majority of gamers, need to step up, ladies and gentlemen, and of course show that the positive outshines the negative. That's my rant. Goodbye on that one.
Thank you.
Never have I seen such a display of blatant puffery. Never in all my life!
Sam Maggs stopped playing online over a year ago because of what she calls a misogynistic mentality that already exists in the world of gaming.
Oh my words! Are we back to the
Misogyny.
The crunch,
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
Can go.
Misogyny.
This, the
Misogyny.
that.
And she says these new scenes only illuminate that.
It's violating, it's triggering for people who have survived assault in the past. It's a visual representation of all that terrible verbal stuff that you get as a woman online.
After her horrendous, life-altering video game assault that I'm sure she has nightmares about every day since it happened back in 2016, it has seemingly launched a very successful career of mediocrity.
Reading is what? Fundamental!
Some people are just allowed to fail upwards. Ask Lily Singh. But no matter how funny I am, no matter how good I am on other people's podcasts, I will never be a millionaire. Anyway, here's a timeline of Mags' ascension to greatness. This is truly the hero's journey. My God, who needs Lord of the Rings when we could have a Sam Mags Amazon show? Am I right, guys? I am not at GDC 2016, but I have my own video game news. I am moving to Edmonton to be an assistant writer for at BioWare.
All right, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything. And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec. Not how he died. I pulled those logs. What happened with Pathfinder?
Ah, classic. My face is tired. I wonder who came up with that line. Even if you're an assistant writer and the head writer brought that across your table and you heard the lines read out and then play, because you know she saw the game before it dropped. Nobody sat there and said, ugh, this looks terrible. It sounds terrible. Let's see. Sam Mags also moved to Insomniac Games. Yippee, hooray! I remember that Spider-Man game. Today, I'm joining Insomniac Games as a senior writer on the new project. I'm so excited to be joining this amazing studio. This would explain why I hated that Spider-Man game. Like, I love the gameplay, but the story sucked. On top of that, all right, this is a whole different pet peeve. I don't care if you don't like it. If you remember the game, like, Mary Jane was no longer this hot model / actress who was, like, successful. Now Mary Jane, honestly, she came off as an annoying feminist.
Tension breaker, right. You know, this is exactly why we broke up.
I thought we broke up so you could focus on your career.
We broke up because you wouldn't stop treating me like a baby. Don't do this, MJ. Don't do that, MJ. Oh, that's too dangerous, MJ. I may not have super spider powers, but I'm not made out of glass.
You snuck into the middle of an armed military. You know what?
Anyway, Data Racers, in typical fashion, drums up a whole bunch of stuff because somehow he can sift through all this garbage and find relevant information when I start to, like, zone out after reading 3 tweets, you know? It's like I get Down syndrome or something. Why are we rewriting something that's already been written? It already works. How come I have a feeling Bastila's going to be even more amazing than she was? I have a feeling Revan's going to be, like, non-binary or something. You know they're going to do that, right? If I recall correctly, George Lucas liked Star Wars Knights of the Republic so much that it became canon. And let's face it, Knights of the Republic 2, one of the best Star Wars games ever. Chris Avellone was a genius. The way he wouldn't even bothering because they canceled Chris Avellone. And if I say he was a genius, people just go, he did something we can't fully prove, so it makes you a bigot and a sympathizer or whatever the hell they come up with. Anyway, BioWare hires Sam Mags to rewrite the Knights of the Republic. Sorry, I was just thinking about it. Max is an SJW activist that hates the male Star Wars fans and consistently mocks the fan base, telling them to die mad about it. Sounds like the right person to hire. It's like, this is laughter of sorrow. Because Star Wars, they just can't stop killing it, bro. It's like, literally. We got the new trilogy that was so bad that I never did a review for it. I hated the new Star Wars.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
And you'll drop your weapon?
And I'll drop my weapon.
And then we...
Rey was the worst character ever. How do you use the Force if not knowing how to use the Force? Let it go. It's like getting on a motorcycle and you already know how to ride. You could already, like, go on the racetrack of Aragon and do a sub 150 lap time. Let it go, man. People don't like logic. She was asked about her favorite Star Wars game in 2019. She said, not Knights of the Republic.
Oh my.
What a surprise. She's Kevin Smithing. Ah, God, I don't even want to look at this. I write games, books, and comics. Next, Knights of the Republic Remake, Call of Duty Vanguard, Critical Role and Origins, Tina's World Wonderland? What is that? Oh, of course she's bi, because you have to be some part of the LGBTQ today. Sam Mags does post in one area, for the record, since it's not in my bio, I'm a white queer author if that helps. On June 20th. Now, originally I assumed that Sam Mags was like a lesbian or something for a while because of this. I'm like, oh, she's gay. This says she's bi, right? So how does bi fall under queer? That's not the same thing. You know, like, whatever. Anyway, while I was working on this video, I found it kind of funny that I stumbled across a post from Sam Mags in 2019, where she gets married to a dude named Blair. But also, even the outtakes are cute at her husband Blair, who basically, I think, works at Respawn, and all he does with his Twitter is retweet whatever the fuck she says. Now, nothing says gay or queer to me like a heterosexual marriage. Am I right, guys? I mean, Boy George is going to marry a woman soon, isn't he? James Charles, major pussy hound. I don't know. Just seems odd to me. Seems more like virtue signaling, personally. After all these years, I finally get to make a BioWare game. Crying face. Isn't KOTOR your favorite? No. She said that in 2019. In 2021, she loves it.
Ironic.
I hate everything. If you want to hate Rey, at least be honest about it. You hate that she's a Mary Sue because she's a woman. It's cool. Just be real about it. No, I hated Rey because Rey sucked. Rey Sucks on the same level as Damian Wayne for me. I can't stand Damian Wayne like I can't stand Rey. Now what argument do you have? He's just a bigot. Okay. The Last Jedi. Men screw literally everything up every time. What did you want, JJ? Like, don't get me wrong. JJ Abrams, he is an IP killer like most of the people today. But, like, what was he going to do with Rian Johnson's literal fire that he created with the second one? Or is it Return of the... What are the Star Wars movies' names now? They're so... I can't remember which one's which anymore. There's The Force Awakens. Obviously, The Last Jedi. Was it The Return of the Force or something? I don't even know. I hated the movie so much, I literally memory hold them. Now, The Last Jedi, please listen to the powerful queer women for once in your ding-dang life.
What, are you retarded?
Ah, yes, powerful queer women. The leaders of creativity. They only seem to be creative when it comes to other people's ideas. Zing! He's in trouble. He's a bigot. The Last Jedi, Carrie Fisher. What are these tweets? Snotty, angry baby boy. Rey hardly needs any training at all. Me, strong in the Force. Do you not remember that Anakin was auto-born strongest Jedi because of an arbitrary and intensely stupid high? I think they were called metachlorians, but that shows how much you cared about the series. You didn't even know the metachlorians. But for real, Rey was more powerful than Anakin. He still needed training. Anakin still needed training. How are you going to on George Lucas's stuff? Like, for real. Granted, the prequels, at the time, they seemed like garbage. But now the prequels, compared to the new sequels, seem like works of art. Ah, let it go. Hell yeah, The Last Jedi is still amazing. Fight me. Super jazzed about The Last Jedi Take 2 with Sam Mags in our... Yeah, cool. And none of the Star Wars tours or clothes at Disney Store are separated by gender. Is that good or bad for you? You know, it's like... With these people, you don't know what tickles their fancy or sets them off. Aesthetic, dying mad about it. Okay? What am I supposed to be mad about? Oh, it's the shirt. Star Wars is for every... I think it says one. It has to, yeah, sure, it is. It was always inclusive. Star Wars was... There was different races, characters, species. Princess Leia takes a blaster from Luke in the beginning because he doesn't know what he's doing, and she starts shooting stormtroopers like, hello? Hello, are we pretending? Okay, let it go. Sure. Laughing my ass off. Bro's really mad. Rey is a Mary Sue. It doesn't matter. Disney's done with it. It's been a lot of time fighting the patriarchy, but these are the little moments I despise. The absolute most. What's the moment? Fighting the patriarchy makes me hungry, so I'm going to sit in the kitchen while my male partner cooks dinner. It's freezing, but hating the patriarchy keeps me warm. I could tell she wrote for the Mary Sue. Oh, talk about one note. Representation matters. I feel lucky to work somewhere that values the inclusion of marginalized and LGBTQ people, both on and behind the scenes. Congratulations, I guess. You want a cookie? Or should I give them the cookie? In this day and age, virtue signaling has become just completely obnoxious and obsequious. It's just always, whoa, LGBT! And then you're like, so what? It's been around forever. Then they're like, okay, you're a bigot. Not only do you need to accept it, but you need to celebrate it. I don't need to celebrate anything. I don't. Just like I don't have to celebrate a holiday if I don't care. Some of the worst professional experiences I've had involve white women with internalized misogyny doing the work of the patriarchy. I understand it, but it doesn't make it any less painful. Okay, so what this basically reads as to me, I can't stand women with common sense that don't want a virtue signal alongside me. They also don't want to see themselves as victims. God damn them, they're internalized misogynist. Anyway, I'm going to fly to Vancouver now. Remember to smash the patriarchy while I'm gone, okay? 17 likes. These are great tweets. I never seen Star Wars, LOL. I'm literally going to just spend the whole day crying about Rey and JYN. I don't know what that is. The disdain these people have for the Star Wars fans and even geek culture in general is truly astonishing. Oh no, it's not astonishing. It's... I don't know how Data Racer goes through all this and doesn't just get tired. I'm tired looking at it. I read about video games for the National Post. I am an associate editor at the Mary Sue. I wrote a book about women in geek culture. That's an old one, isn't it? 2014, yeah. The Last Jedi is objectively the best Star Wars movie? The most cohesive? The best looking and the most interesting ideas raised? And not liking it is the world's biggest self-own. Okay? Donna is insane.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Absolutely. The Last Jedi was the best. You're crazy. Crazy. The best looking? Well, I'd hope so with all the technological advances we have. Like, this shows you the level of not understanding anything. In the sense of what George Lucas did with Star Wars. Changed the entire movie industry. The sound effects, the stuff they came up with to this day is used in other movies and television shows. The practical effects were genius at a time where such things didn't exist. And now we live in a world where everything's so CGI'd. We're in the Valley of the Dolls where it doesn't look real anymore. How do you say that? The Last Jedi wouldn't exist if it wasn't for George Lucas's original ideas. It was the best and most cohesive, and it would have never existed if it wasn't for one man coming up with something. And the best part about it is the fact that George Lucas took ideas from stuff he's inspired by, mainly Kurosawa films. How come Hollywood can't do that now? Look at Star Wars, say you're inspired by it, and come up with your own shit rather than continue ruining it. I'm off on a whole different tangent. I'm just ripping on how much I hate the new Star Wars films. What is it like being so objectively and unequivocally correct?
No, I'm withholding it. Look at me, getting off.
I would stake my life on Rise of Skywalker referring to Kylo, and I look forward to dunking on every fool who thinks JJ is retconning Rey's existing backstory? What? People want The Last Jedi to get retconned so bad they'll jump at any mention of it. I think Disney's already doing that on their own. Like, the new Star Wars films were so bad, it killed Star Wars fandom. Like, remember how Star Wars was cultural?
I just broke my hand, you It's a lie!
Ricky, I am your father.
Now look at it. It's like weird. Now we look at Star Wars and it's just like, oh yeah, that. It sucks now. Oh, I remember that. Before, you talk about Star Wars and someone would run in the room unprompted and scream, "Luke, I am your father," and then starts waving something. Now we look at Star Wars and we're like, oh yeah. Ugh. The movie's so bad, literally the chick who played Rey doesn't want to do it anymore. Daisy Ridley walked away. Everyone who was in the film has quit. Carrie Fisher. She got so sick of the Star Wars films, she committed suicide. She OD'd to get away.
That's too soon. And you go, no, they just died. It's perfectly timed. The news broke. I had the first joke on the internet. How dare you question my timing? I'm a professional.
Harrison Ford had them kill his character twice. I absolutely love to see it. 9 days after he was tapped to become the new host of Jeopardy, Mike Richards is out after details surfaced about past conduct and statements he made on a podcast series. He will remain in the show's executive producer. They fired him as the executive producer, so this is like old. And, you know, what I love to see it, where something you said 5 years ago can be used to get you out of a job. Hooray! Now we can cancel anyone. We'll find out you did something wrong. What's that? You're running for president? Yes, I am. I'm running for president. I have a great rapport with the people. Everyone likes me. Well, we found out you kicked a puppy back in 1973. You're done. But I was 4. You. The biggest disappointment at studios are not the misogynists, but rather the good people in the place of privilege who refuse to risk their own jobs by standing up for their marginalized colleagues. Good Lord, Sam Maggs' Twitter is garbage. It's like, for someone who's written in all of these things, good Lord, patriarchy, misogyny, it's everywhere. Good God. Marginalized. Misogyny again, racist buzzwords out the ass. I'm a minority. All right? Like, if you somehow missed it. And I find this appalling. I can't read any more of these, dude. I've been donating and trying to amplify black voices. I don't want to center myself in the discourse in any way, but white silence is violence. And I think it is truly the least we can do to call out racist behavior since we are not at risk of violent retribution for doing so. How come I haven't seen a single check from Sam Maggs? I want answers. Anyone who talks about property damage from the riots, like it's more important for more tragic, like it's more important or more tragic than for the okay, I can't even read this one. Anyone who talks about the property damage from the riots, like it's more important or more tragic than the reason for the riots, and anyone who agrees or sympathizes with that kind of behavior, I can't tolerate. Well, I don't, because I was living in an area where some of the riots broke out, and it was just like, for real? We're really doing this? We're really going to trash an entire area for what? Like, this doesn't bring the dude back, and it doesn't fix anything. It just ruins the area. Guess who has to pay taxes? What about the people who own the businesses? Even black businesses were burned down. What about them? It's more important that we burn shit. Like, it made no sense. Stores being robbed, people running outside, carrying out dunks, smiling and laughing in TikTok videos. What did that do? What did that help? If someone broke into her house, stole her shit, and burned it down, I don't think Sam Maggs would be outside going, white silence is violence. She wouldn't be passing a canister of gasoline, and that's on the real. Jesus Christ. Like, everybody's fine with something getting destroyed long as it ain't your shit. And that's it. If it ain't your town, it ain't your neighborhood, if you ain't in the area. Remember that black basketball player who was saying burn everything down? Then they came to his neighborhood and started setting mansions on fire. What did he do? He started tweeting, get these animals out of here. Cut it out. You motherfucker. Oh, sorry. It was an NBA reporter. Chris Martin. Burn it down. Burn it all down. Came to his area. They just attacked our sister community down the street. It's a gated community, and they tried to climb the gates. They had to beat them back, then destroy the Starbucks. And now, in front of my building, get these animals the fuck out of my neighborhood. Go back to where you live. On that note, I'm the fuck out of here, dog. You phony ass motherfucker. Oh, Lord. Oh, wait, he's white?
Well, I'll be dipped in and rolling breadcrumbs.
He's white. That makes it even worse. Oh, Lord. The political ones, the ones that try and pretend, like the ones that like, oh, I'm an ally. I'm an ally. And that ally flew out the window real quick when it was your area burning, boy.